Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Hey, hi Namrata. Just hang in there. I think I added you a little early, so I'll introduce you and then we'll begin. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hi everyone. Welcome to a new episode of PhD, the philosophical drama. I'm Shweta, and today we are going to talk to Namrata, who's already here. Namrata did her PhD from Texas Women's University, and she is currently a postdoc at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Hi Namrata, welcome to our show, and thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Shweta. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm glad I could be here.
Of course, of course. I'm glad that we're going to have a great time today.
For sure.
All right, let's get started. So my first question is, what brought you to research? And as an extension, how did you know that you want to do a PhD?
Oh my God, that's such a great question, and I still don't know how I got here, but I think I can narrate in a way what brought me here. So as you know, and I don't know if all of them know or not, I'm from Nepal. And in Nepal, I'm from Janakpur. So it is southern plain of Nepal. So growing up in a medical background, my dad, my sister, they are all clinician. And that kind of motivated me, but I was still not sure what I want to do. Do I want to go to get into the medical field, or I want to get into the research field? So I did my high schooling, and then it was like I always was kind of interested in why, how, and all that was always my question. So I think that's the best way to put it up all through that. That's how I got into the research. Like you always have that question, why, how, what. So that's how I got into the research.
So you were a curious kid, always.
Yeah, curious and also a rebel. So everybody was in clinical field, so let's do something different. So you can call that I'm a black sheep or something, they call it in the family. So yeah.
And how did your family respond to that?
Oh, that was like quite supportive. Do whatever you want to do. It's like whatever you want to do, let us know what we can do to make it a little easier, but go for it.
That's great. That's great. That's like a very nice and supporting family you had. So you came to the US for your undergrad or your for your bachelor's degree, right? How did that happen? Like, how did you decide to come from Nepal to the US for an undergrad?
So I did my high schooling and I joined undergrad over there. And back in Nepal, we had 3-year bachelors.
Okay.
Back then. Yeah, it was, now it has been for 4 years, and when you want to transfer, that's where it kind of teased me that how about if I want to pursue research, how about going to the best infrastructure and everything. As we know, we have a global community over here, research is so vast and everything. So I was doing that and I got a credit transfer. So I completed my undergrad over here with the credit transfer 2 years in Southeast Missouri State University. And then one of my teachers back in there, like I have a whole panel of people who supported me throughout the journey. Mr. KP Timosena, he has been my support system in Nepal all the time. Still, when I visit Nepal, it's like I have to go and meet him. So he helped me. I got into Southeast Missouri State University, and then I'm here.
All right. How was the transition from one country, your home country, to a very new world where there's kind of a lot of diversity globally? How did you manage that transition?
You're bringing back so many memories. It was like I was scared. I was a scared child. Like 12 years back, I was in 20, 21, something like that. It was scary. It was very scary. But then again, in Southeast Missouri system, 2 person that I want to name, Mrs. Zen and Shweta. Again, I'm still in touch with them, and they made sure they were like international coordinator. Whoever comes from different country, they will always help you, like from how to get your iCard, like identity card, to how to get a bank document, how to get, because we have to also, when you are coming as an undergrad, usually it is advised that you pay for your first semester and all that. And so that thing is, so they had well-managed team, they will help you through all that. And then also, like in the informal side, we will have like ice cream party. We will have like meet and greet in the evening. We'll have picnic. So that kind of got me into. So I get like around the surrounding. I get to know the people in Southeast Missouri, and it was not easy. First thing, it was very scary. I was very much scared. I still remember I called my mom when I landed in Cape Girardeau. That is where Southeast Missouri State University is, and I was like, Mom, I'm scared. Nobody's here to pick me up. Are they gonna leave me? But no, within like couple of minutes, there was somebody to pick me up. So I was fine.
Yeah, but that's understandable because you are so young at that time, right? And suddenly exposed to such a big new world that you don't really know. And the systems are so different, like, in from one country to the other. Like, for example, not every place there is an Uber. And that was a very different time. I think 10 years ago, there was no Uber. And very few people used Android phones or iPhones, or maybe people did use iPhones or Android phones. But then, yeah, the world was very, very different and difficult, I would say. I think it has become a little bit easy now in terms of networking as well. So talking about, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to add one thing. So whenever you travel to a new country, the always thing is like, where is your community? So when I came in 2011, this was like 12 years back, not only 10. So I was like trying to see how many folks from Nepal are over here. At that time, we only had 50,000 folks from Nepal. And when I check now, it is 200,000. So you just see the difference.
In the USA?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great increase of number.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in 10 years, you have fourfold increment right there. So when I came in, it was like everything was new, everything was different. Now you can see folks from Nepal. Like even in Cincinnati, we have lots of folks from Nepal. And then I did my PhD in Texas. We have, but in Missouri, it was like close-knit community.
Yeah. That's what actually I was getting at. Networking when it comes to shifting from one place to the other. Oh, I think it's your mom who has joined. She says, "Proud of you, my daughter." That's so sweet. So networking, basically. How have your peers and your mentors, influenced your life from like throughout this journey of yours? I know it's a very broad question, and I'm sure you have a lot of mentors, different mentors at different places. But what do you think about this?
That's everything. Not only in academia, I feel like any field you want to pursue, mentors play most important role. They are kind of your guiding force. And if we can use this term, like they are your career parents who is shaping you to what you want to be. So as I told you, like KP sir helped me to get to US. Before that in school, we had Rajnikant Jha sir. He helped me a lot. That's the main reason I got into science, I would say, in class 6 or 7.
Okay.
And then when I got into Southeast Missouri, I just loved Dr. Ward Lilly, Dr. Hill. They were like, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to do research. So I landed in Southeast Missouri on August 10th, and I started in the research lab on August 18th.
Oh, great. In a week.
And that was also being a junior in undergrad. So it was like, yeah, what I came here for, I'll do that ASAP. So I joined the lab on 18th, and then the lab I joined in, they had a connection with my PhD mentor. That's how I got into Dr. Hines' lab in TW. But these are all the folks who helped me to get into research. And when I went to TW, I had like entire panel, like Dr. Everett, who you already had hosted once, Dr. Jairus Reddy, Dr. Ahmed, like, and even for when I completed my PhD, this job that I got, Dr. Avery told me, like, you are in that graduation mode where you have to defend, you have to put everything together, so many logistics from grad school and everything. And I was applying, and I was like, hey, Dr. Avery, if you get to see any of the announcement about the postdoc, and if I'm missing it, let me know. And she provided me with this link. Hey, there is a announcement. Do you want to join? Do you want to see? if this is like what you're looking for. And I got into, and I just loved it. And my PI right now, so this thing I have to tell you, I was very reluctant to leave Texas. I was like, I don't want to leave Texas at all. I did had a couple of offers from there, but Dr. Michael Jankowski, like my PI right now, he gave me a call, and that was like best 30-minute call, I would say. And he was like, hey, I moved from UPenn, he moved to Cincinnati, and he was like, you'll have all the opportunity and everything. And that was the call that made me decide, okay, whatever, I'm going to Cincinnati now for my postdoc. So you will see all my stays has been guided by all my mentors. And I do feel privileged that I had such a guiding force. Yeah. Whatever I am, and if I have done anything good, I would say, and if I do anything, it's not me. It takes a village, and I have my village right behind me.
Of course. I mean, mentors, academic as well as non-academic, are also inspiring and supporting all the time. And they are a major part of your journey.
They are.
How did you decide? You just said how you decided to join your postdoc from your PhD, like Texas to Cincinnati. How did the Missouri to Texas, that is your undergrad to your PhD transition, happen?
So this is the same thing. The lab that I joined in as an undergrad, and that was recommended to me by Dr. Walt Lilly. He was also my I did classes with him. So when I was doing that research lab had a collaboration with my PhD lab. So that's how I got into TWU.
Okay. All right. Okay. How was life at TWU, like during your PhD?
It was learning process. So many things happened. It was learning process. The best part, I would say, I got few friends who are like the asset in life. I cannot imagine my life without them. And also for the science part, I get to learn a lot. And one thing that one of my Dr. Jairus study, he told me, and that was like inspiring. I was like, no, we do have folks who want you to succeed. So he was senior in the lab, and he taught me pretty much everything in the very first few years. And he was like, hey, I got a paper. I want you to reach to that point where I will see you like this and you reach above me. And getting that from somebody who taught you is everything. They just want you to succeed.
Yes.
So yeah. And then I have folks like, they are my, I would say, best support system. I had Becky, I had Sukhveer, Everett Lab. I was not the part of Everett Lab, but I never felt like I'm not a part of Everett Lab.
But you were adopted by them.
Yeah, I was adopted by them, exactly. Even when Dr. Everett met Mike in the conference, she literally said, oh, she's my adopted one. So yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, that it really feels nice. I mean, I have heard a similar story about some lab mate of mine who used to be hanging out in some other lab, and then someone from around that floor thought that he's actually a part of that lab. And when he was graduating, and it was there on his poster that he's from our lab, they were actually like, we all the time, like all 6 years of your PhD, we thought that you are from this other XYZ lab. So yeah, basically he was also adopted by the other lab.
Yeah.
And then you form this small network of your family, right? Basically, when you are in an institute or a university, and that is something that keeps you going. It motivates you and kind of pushes you to where you are headed. If there was one thing that you would have told yourself before joining your PhD, what would that have been?
One thing I would say, I rushed for my PhD. So I'm a summer graduate. I graduated in, I even took summer classes. So I graduated in August, and that was August 14 or 15, and I joined TW on August 24th. So anybody who is doing PhD after undergrad, and I straight went from undergrad to PhD. I didn't have masters or anything. And then when I did that, I would always say, whoever is going for undergraduate, from my experience, maybe this is not okay for everybody else, but I would say take at least 1 year break. Browse your school, see if you want to work for a little bit. Even right now, I have mentee, they are taking like 1 year break between the grad school and the undergrad. I would highly recommend that. You will get lots of information that would be helpful and pursuing maybe better opportunity for even for the grad school and all that.
Yeah. You also get a better perspective, right?
Yes.
You also ask yourself if you really want to do this, if you really want to invest in this. And you kind of also scope things around. So that gives you like the time that you spend, the extra time that you spend, it actually does help you out. Yeah, it's a nice perspective. You just said about, like, you were just talking about your mentees. I also know that you are a part of this mentorship program, which is called as Magic. Tell us something about, tell us about it.
So, Get Magic is a unique platform. So it was formed, I think, 20 plus year back. And
wow.
the main, I would say, founder that I got to interact with was Dr. Ira Kramenik, and she opened it because you will see the video. If you go to www.getmagic.org, it is for the female when they were said like you cannot do science. So we try to help the high school girls.
Okay.
So we select them. They apply. It is very competitive. So they are selected. And they get matched with their mentor. Like if I'm doing biology, somebody who want to pursue the project in biology, they will be matched with me. If somebody is from computer science, if somebody want to do coding, if somebody want to do chemistry part, so they will be matched with different mentor. And we have 10 to 14 weeks of time period, and we will complete the whole project. And then in the final presentation, we showcased our work. Previously, when there was no COVID, before COVID era, we used to have like good like networking. We will have poster presentation, everything. We still do that. We have videos and everything that is posted on the Magic.org and all that. And then it gets highlighted. So it's amazing platform for girls. And one thing that is very, I would say, unique about Get Magic is female are the only mentor.
Okay.
Male are just on the like other like technical thing and all that. So it is not that we are demeaning male. It is like if you see, if I'm talking to you, you look like me. So there are role model in it, like female have a role model in the field from the team itself. So that inspired them. And it's like last year, one of my mentee got into UC Berkeley. One of my mentee right now is in UPenn, and I'm like, I feel so proud of them. And they kind of text you, and they're like, hey, we are here. It's just amazing. That feeling is priceless, I would say, when your mentee reach out to you, and they still remember you, what we did. So Get Magic is just awesome. I feel like honored to be part of that. And Sonali from TWU introduced Get Magic to me. So
okay. So you joined Get Magic while you were in grad school, while you were doing your PhD?
It was when I was graduating, she told me, and that's when all this. So as you are working with the teenager girls and everything, they have lots of background check and everything. So you are fit and all that. So it took a while, but it has been like now for me 4 years that I have been associated with Get Magic.
Wow. That's crazy. 4 years of mentorship. I mean, so many people you must have inspired doing that.
Hope so.
So, the question I had about the mentorship program is, when you say you basically have like mentees who are girls, is it global or is it only in the US, or how does it function?
It is based in the Bay Area in California, and they partners with like it is global kind of. Last time we had girls from South Africa, Mexico, India. We get quite a few, and all over the United States. So I would say it is global. It is, and they are trying to outreach more because we do. As soon as it is out of USA, we can say it is global because it has touched like few other countries. As for my knowledge, I have seen 3 other mentees who are from outside of USA. I have to double check, but these are the countries I have seen that we have had mentees from
Okay.
them.
Okay. I was just asking for if, someone is interested in doing this kind of getting mentored, basically, then like people outside of the
Yeah,
US.
they can. They
Then
can. They have
would
to.
it be, would it be helpful for them?
Yeah.
And how many students do you have, like per batch or at a particular time going on?
One. One mentor, one mentee. You have one group.
No, as in I meant, of course. But then, how many mentors do you have on
Oh,
your
wow.
program?
Yeah. We have quite a few. We do not do any session in the fall. We have for the spring and summer. Summer is now kick start is next week, I guess, if I remember correctly. But usually it is school to school, zone to zone. Like last time when I did from Menlo, we had five mentee mentor here. Then you also do it from California was Menlo. Then we have Montgomery, New York. So depending on how many students from or how many mentee from that school approach. So
Okay.
different, like tentatively, I would say 20 at least, if I remember correctly. But because varies, it varies.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And we are
Yeah, I think
always, sorry,
no.
we are always in
Go ahead.
need of like mentor and mentors specifically. Like you will see always announcement coming from Get Magic that hey, if you wanna get involved, they always need mentor, and good mentor are again asset.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, such programs should be, made more and more available to people, not just for getting mentored, but also for mentoring people, because I think mentoring is also a very fulfilling experience.
Yeah.
Uh, um, you also have another passion other than research, which is writing, if I'm correct. Uh, Tell us something about how did you go around? Were you into writing right from the beginning, like when you were an undergrad, or did you develop that during your academic journey?
No, my like those writing is full of rebellious thought, not like academic writing. So I'm a very good observant if something is bugging me or
Mm-hmm.
if something I do not appreciate and I cannot be vocal about it, I'll try to express through writing.
Okay.
So back in Nepal, when I was, as I told you, I'm from Janakpur.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some of the identity crisis, some of the other thought process that I was going on. I was still growing up. I was trying to learn. And there were some of the stuff that I did not like. So I was like, what is the best way to approach it? And I started writing.
Okay.
And in that sense, one journalist who inspired me a lot, and I still follow his work, is Mr. Chandan Kumar Mandal. He is in UK right now. Oh my God, I'm a big fangirl of his writing. And I got to meet him and I started to read his blog and everything. And he has Fab 5 on Friday. He usually launches his writing. He's amazing. And then that's how I got into writing, and mostly with the Mithila culture. So in Janakpur,
Mm-hmm.
we are from Maithili community. My mother tongue is Maithili. National
Okay.
language is Nepali and my mother tongue is Maithili. So I speak in Maithili. So some of the culture that is hidden, and Mithila culture is like before 500 BC, like that is the oldest culture we have, and it seems not very well documented. So what I learned from my grandma, grandpa, my uncle, aunt growing up, so I try to highlight some of that in my writing, and also then even in the Get Magic, we have a platform called Medium. So I don't know if you recall reading that microaggression, women rights,
Yeah.
mental health. So these are all the topics which need to be discussed, expressed more, because these are some uncomfortable topics you do not want to talk about. So anything that I am not okay with and I want to express, I'll go into the writing mode.
So that's your therapy.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, you said it so well. My therapy is writing. Very much like I could not have said it better. Yeah, that is my therapy.
All right, great. Um, so talking about culture and not a lot of people, like how you said, not a lot of people are aware of these things. What do you think about representation in general?
That is my favorite question, Shweta. Remember we had a little chat last time too.
We did.
So it it is very important to me. Like being a woman of color in science, yeah, it is very important to me. It's not like I'm not appreciated. I am appreciated for what I do, what kind of scientist I am. But then where I come from is equally important to me.
Yes.
So yeah, representation is very important. Like that's why I told you, whenever I started to write, my first thing was like, um, where I come from should not be left behind. If I leave behind that, I do not have my own identity. Even if I be the greatest of greatest scientists, that's not who I am. So representation is very important to me. And for that reason, I'm also associated with Association of Nepali Tharayan in America. So in last 10 years, I was a spokesperson. Right now, I am in Central Executive Committee. So I have been associated with that organization like for now 10, 12 years. And they are basically the southern part of Nepali folks who have had this. And some of the, like, I would say, personalities with that kind of guided me are Mr. Lalit Jha, Ratan Jha. They established this, like, they are the founding member of ANTA, and then I got introduced to it by Mrs. Aparajita Mishra Jha, and then right now we have our president, Dr. Mridula Gupta. That's like, again, that is very fulfilling to me to represent where I come from. So they do lots of things which like the part of Nepal we come from, our cultural aspect and all that. So we showcase that. Yesterday I was in the annual meeting in Lexington. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we do a lot of that representation, and then women, science. Those are the things that always intrigue me, inspire me.
Yeah, I really like the way you express these things and the way you articulate these thoughts. It's really nice. I should also say that Danish here says that she reads your Medium articles and she thanks you for sharing the ADHD research. Yeah, someone else also says that they are really proud of you. There's so much you are involved in that I'm sure people are always like, you're making people proud all the time.
I hope so. I'm doing my part. They are just my. So there is Nalina. I write for Annapurna Post back in Nepal, and she's involved in that journal. She inspired me. She was like, "How are you gonna do that? Just express it. Start writing." She's the one. Ghanshyam. They are the two folks back in Nepal. They will always say, "Hey, do you have something I've like written up for this one?" Then Nilesh. He is always there. Hey, I have heard something about this in the Mithila culture. You want to write up? So we always have this collaboration, and I'm like, okay, let me write it down. Let's do a couple of here and there, and then we'll see. So these folks are always there with me. And thank you, Danny. Thank you so much.
Again, coming back a little bit to the representation, but not exactly that. What is your advice to women in STEM, or what are your views about women in STEM? We know that the field is going towards representation more for women, but it is still not there yet. So what do you think about that?
So where I come from, in Nepal, we have raw discrimination. Like you can clearly see that. Mm-hmm. And it has got a whole lot better now. At least we do not have that very cringy kind of differentiation between male and female. Okay. When I got here, we still have discrimination, but in the form of microaggression. They won't directly attack you, but there are some statements that they will pass along, and they will be like, hey, we didn't mean it. It was just for the joke or something. On the other side, if we say we have come this far, then why we still have, like, any conferences you go to, you will have like women as a neuroscientist, women as a surgeon. Why do we have those? If it was that equal, we don't need those kind of like subcommittee or something like that. One thing to all the fellow, not only women in science, in any field, I would say, if you don't like something, speak up. Sometimes they tend to pass those comments unknowingly. They don't mean to hurt you, but they don't know it because they have been raised with that mentality or raised with that notion. Just because you are raised with some notion and there was somebody to correct you doesn't mean that is right. So just speak up. Hey, I didn't like it. Did you mean in that way? And if they say like, hey, it was not for you for that reason, but I just wanted to let you know that is not correct statement to pass along. So those kind of. And representation not only for women, representation for women of color, LGBTQ.
Yes.
Everything matter. Everything matter.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears. How was your postdoc experience, like your PhD to postdoc transition? You told us about how it happened, but how has your postdoc experience been?
Amazing. So far, I don't know if I am going to end up in academia or not, but if you ask me about my postdoc experience, it has been amazing. My lab mate, they are the best. Like, they are there for everything. And my PI, if we had a term called scientific father or something like that, I would have given him that. Dr. Michael Zankowski's. And the best thing is, like, if you're doing something and your lab mates like Miranda, Aditya, everybody, like Kendall, Courtney, they all are there all the time. Megan, if you are like missing something, and even if they see you working there a whole lot, they'll be like, hey, go home, you need some rest. So they are personally and professionally always there to looking out for you. And they are some of the smartest people I would say I work with them. They're the smartest one. Like Janice, Sadie, Renita. I feel like I'm fortunate to work with them.
I really appreciate this quality of yours of, giving credit to the people, especially like when it's due, and yeah, just talking about every person taking their name out loud, and yeah, it's really nice.
But that's who we are. There is nothing called self-made or something like that. You always have somebody who has guided you. So I feel like they should be getting credit, not only for, and I'm not saying this just because of the namesake.
Hmm?
They mean to me that much. So
Yeah, I can see that. All right. Let's move on to our fun segment, which is the rapid fire round.
I hope I
have
do not bomb it. I hope I do not bomb it.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay, so it has to be rapid, it has to be crisp, and we can also like have discussions about it, but it's up to you. Okay, the first question is, what is a survival strategy that you use for a bad day?
Sorry.
If you are having a bad day at work, in like a bad experiment, suppose.
I go for driving. Driving is my another stress buster. As
Okay.
I told you, I started writing. And Aditya from my lab, he always told me, if you're having a bad day, cook something good for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is my handling of bad day.
That's nice. If not into research, I think I know this answer, but if not into research, what would you be doing?
Oh, that is a fun question. So growing up, my aim was to be a pilot.
Okay, I did not know this answer clearly. Okay. What's your mentorship mantra?
Be a friend with them. And ask all the riddle. For some reason, with my Get Magic Mandy, I always have riddle to break. That is my icebreaker. Riddles.
Okay. That's nice. What is your message for young girls who want to pursue science?
Be yourself. Although you are the only one doing it, just do it.
Okay, last question. What, according to you, are the major pillars of a good lab culture?
Good lab culture. Questions, interaction, sharing of result, talking about it, and all like going out for lunch together. That breaks up all the hurdle. Go for axe throwing. We just had I missed it yesterday. I just missed the axe throwing. Like Miranda, Aditya, they all did like so much fun. Courtney, Kendall, they all were axe throwing, and I was so jealous of it because I could not just get. Yeah, but yeah, go for all those fun events. It is, you are doing work in the lab, but then on personal level, you get to connect with all your lab folks over there. So
Right. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Do you have any final words or any advice to our viewers?
my advice will be just be yourself. Never change.
Okay. That is very sweet. That's very sweet and very short and very sweet. All right. Thank you so much, Namrata, for joining us today. I had a really nice time, and I really liked how you have clarity of thought with all your, perspectives. That is a great quality that you have. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was so much fun. I thought I was a little anxious how it's gonna go. I was like, what? I hope I'll be okay, but it was fun actually. I didn't even feel like it's friendly talk. It's so good.
No,
Thank you. Thank you for having
I was very sure that you will be fine.
me. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Oh, ouch. Danish, I think we will pass on the question to her because she's left the chat. She's left the live call. But thank you so much, all of you, for joining us today, and I hope you had a great time. We'll be back with another fun episode very soon. Till then, stay tuned.